Hey, welcome back to another episode of What I Learned. I got to interview Jesse Burrell, and it was a very enlightening podcast, an interview. I guess, wouldn't that be weird if I started out and be like, it was terrible, I hated it. No, I guess you'd never even hear it if it was terrible. But you're hearing the Jesse Burrell podcast show, so I would assume that you knew it was good. Jesse got into the house flipping game a little bit late, or maybe not late, depending on, your understanding the market. But 2014, part of a sales team, and as he was trying to look for leads, real estate agents and the such, he kept having these problems. He had some skip tracing stuff that was canceled. Skip tracing, for those of you that don't know, is the ability to type in an owner's information. So like if there's a house, you could find that house and then skip trace them, get their contact information. Their contact information, then you could call, reach out to them, try to get a lead, call them, email them, mail them something and say, hey, I see your house. And maybe as you're driving for dollars, as they call it, you see a overgrown house or vacant or dilapidated or something like that. So you could try to find off-market leads to then ultimately buy, fix up, sell, wholesale, do something like that. Well, Jesse created a company called Batch Leads, and actually has a product of all kinds of batch leads of this, of kind of off-market or skip tracing type items. He has, in the last 3 years, just been essentially solving his own problems, which I think is a tremendous way to build a business, is that there's an existing problem and at least there's a client of one. And that's what he did. He started solving his own problem. He was sourcing leads from someone else. As that kind of grew, he shared those leads with a few other people because it was a better product. And then it kind of just started snowballing and taking a momentum amongst itself. He then ultimately partnered with the group or the people that he was sourcing his leads from, and they formed a company together. And in 3 years' time, they've hired 250 people. They've become a tech SaaS company that's growing. They're now getting into the enterprise software space, specifically in this real estate, off-market lead space. I keep saying that space, the real estate space, or I think it's applicable for anybody that is trying to do direct to consumer leads. A home builder, a real estate agent, a real estate investor, just home services, any kind of those things. This in their service is very, very viable. So as the CEO of the company, they've grown. I think they've just passed 60 million in revenue. Fantastic. A software SaaS company pushing 60 million in revenue. Their goal is to go over $100 million or maybe their goal is 60 million this year, 100 million in next year. So over 100 million, 9 figures within 5 years. Awesome. Some of the things that he goes through and how he has started stacking those services, creating benefits, I found just incredibly fascinating. And just, again, layering on, solving problems. Oh, you guys need us to have a dialer. Oh, you need a call center. Let's do inbound, outbound. And then just building these upon their own API and proprietary system that just kept growing and growing. And now they have a chance to kind of segment that out to an enterprise client. It was, like I said, just great to understand that. And it's from someone that was not a tech executive. He didn't start out in the tech world, just literally solving his own problems. And now he's become this tech entrepreneur superstar. Not only that, he's had to learn as he goes. And then he gives some very, very interesting clues of things that he has started doing. You have to listen to the episode, but around masterminds and some mentorship and some books and some key books and some actually specific systems that he is implementing that will, what he believes, and could take his company into over $1 billion valuation in this short time period. Having that product, having the vision, and now he's on a path to sell, be acquired, or IPO. And it's just exciting to see that and see that energy that he brings and having the conversation in a podcast episode. There's a few other things that we dive into as a previous partnership that didn't maybe wind down the way that he wanted. It caused him to structure his new business with his new partnership in a unique way. And I just thought it was really fascinating. Myself, not all businesses and partnerships that I've had have been, all sunshine and rainbows. Some of them end poorly. Some of them, have wound down that were friendly and communicate with each other. And it's just understanding those dynamics. And Jesse really put together some good ideas that I believe that could align himself in a similar win-win and a vision with his current partners, and that's really fantastic. You have to look for some of the books that he recommend in there. You're gonna have to listen to that episode to find those specific books. But now he's looking at beyond just building out this company. Obviously, that's his baby. If you can take something to $1 billion valuation in a rocket ship, I would recommend that you focus in on that. So on the side, he's looking at doing startups and venture capital and just other real estate deals, doing some apartments for cost segregations and write-offs. And we've talked on previous episodes about people that creating tax strategies and how real estate is really, really uniquely positioned to structure a favorable tax environment for high net worth, accredited kind of investors. So you also heard like deferred sales trust in the episode of Brett Swartz about opportunities. And now you're selling some of the real estate. How can you also prevent some of the taxes? Or maybe you heard the Christian Mack episode where he sold his SaaS company and he made 9 figures and he was able to put that into a trust and not really even pay taxes on that as long as it's in that trust. These are some next level tax kind of strategies and planning, but with foresight, with getting around the right experts, you can utilize the laws to your benefit. And obviously, they wrote those laws for a reason. Again, I think this was another stellar episode. Obviously, the fact that he was not really real estate, but now he's built this SaaS and software company and become a tech entrepreneur from the real estate field and then dabbles with it a little bit on the side was something that I find really, really fascinating. So make sure you check out the episode with Jesse Burrell on the Catching Knives podcast show. I look forward to the next time of sharing what I learned. Thank you.